Word. Hey everyone, welcome to the sixth call of 2015 for Team Relentless. There was a slight change of plans, so I hope everybody's able to get on. Next week we're going to go back to the YouTube broadcast, but my camera on my laptop, something happened and there was not the installed plugin on my big computer, so I apologize for the confusion, and this will be uploaded to my YouTube to anybody who wants to watch this at a later date. We have two of my good friends on from one is Christy she's part of my upline, and we met when I became a coach and when I first went to Summit in 2013. And then there's Anna. We were together and I figured out who she was and she figured out who I was when we were in the PIO test group last year. And all of us have been elite coaches. And the biggest thing that I want to share with everybody before we start this call is that we work in a business, in an industry where goals are a huge facet of our business, and it's what helps us move forward. It's what helps others that are in our challenge groups and in our team really stay focused. And with that being said, I never set any goals, and when I have set goals, there's been ones that I have hit and been successful, and other ones that I missed and didn't make it all. And there were ones that I set dates on and I hit early or hit later. And then there's some goals that, halfway through my journey, I realized were not really important to me. And so I want to stress to everybody that goals are important, but you need to be flexible, and that the dates that you have are something just to keep you pushing. But if you don't hit the dates, that doesn't mean that you aren't going to hit them or that you are not successful. And, the biggest thing I think I've learned about my whole entire life is that I've failed, and I've failed a lot. And with every failure comes the emotions that just naturally come when you don't get something you want, that you've wished for, that you've prayed for, that you've worked so hard for. And, you're allowed to go through the anger and the sadness and the disappointment and the frustrations and the tears and whatever comes with it are totally fine. But what you do with yourself, and I think we had some issues a couple months ago. One of the things one of my best friends said is, Mindy, it's not what happens to you, but it's how you respond. Turn it into a comeback. And, I watched Christy and I've watched Anna work fervently for their team, for themselves, and they are consistent and they are amazing and they have good training and they are positive all the time. But they set a goal to hit elite this last year and they didn't hit it. And it was devastating to both of them. And we become so connected that I felt for them. But I watched them and I watched them get quiet and I watched them get sad and I watched them get angry. And then I watched them come back and they remember why they started this journey. It was for themselves to help the people. And I've seen so many people in my challenge groups and in my team who set goals and they don't make them. And the biggest thing I think is when other people make them, it's so hard to balance out that you want to be happy for them, but it is frustrating to yourself. But the difference between winners and losers are the ones that pick themselves up, dust themselves off, share with the world their, things that they miss and their feelings, and they rock on and they do even better. And they still are able to be happy for their fellow coaches, their fellow challengers, and they don't abandon the people that have trusted them along the way. So I asked them to speak because we're early in the year, and a lot of you have set your goals for Diamond Coach, Premier, Elite, and there's going to be people that hit it faster than you. There's going to be people who succeed and maybe you don't. So I wanted them to share what flexible goals are like and what recovering from, not hitting something of the date that they wanted, how you can do that, how you can prepare, and, maybe share some of their tips that, they realized looking back that maybe they could have done differently to hit this goal and how they're going to make 2015 rock. So Christy has to get off the call because she has a family and other things. So she's going to go first and share some stuff. If you follow her on Facebook, she's under Christy Parr, Parr, and then more. But she's a great help. She's part of our upline. So if you are part of Diesel Nation or a part of Team Relentless, she is in our upline. So I'm going to give it over to you.
Awesome. I'm so excited that Mindy asked me to speak tonight. I think the world of her. She is such a phenomenal leader, and she's so positive and she's real. So you guys are very, very blessed that you are signed up with Mindy and on her team. Let me tell you, you're extremely blessed. I loved her from the minute that I met her because she's real and she has a huge heart for helping people. I'm on this call to talk about not making elite. I made it in 2012, and then I didn't make it the following year. I kept going, but I didn't. I really wasn't trying to go for it in 2013 because I had some people in my family that passed away that were very, very dear to me. My favorite aunt passed away. One of my best friends passed away. So I had a lot of issues. So I just kept my business going. I kept making Success Club, and I kept working really hard. But and I was there for my team. But that was not my focus that year. Last year, I ended up with 126 or 127 points. So I would have made a lead. I missed it by like a half emerald. One of my coaches, she thought she was going to go diamond, and I ended up going to Florida for 11 days to spend Christmas with my dad, and basically just let my leaders be leaders. And it didn't pan out for me to go elite last year. And at first I was like, bummed out because I ended up with over 125 points, and I didn't realize I was quite that close. Because a lot of people made Success Club at the last minute. And then I was, had like, maybe a couple of days of really bummed out. And then I totally cheered up, and I thought, you know what? I'm in this for the long haul, and it's not about missing a goal, but it's just about learning as a leader, what I can do to better help my people, what I can do to, just to look at everything and say, what can I do differently, to just look at this and say, okay, I didn't make it, but this is going to make me even a better leader. So what I didn't do, and what I tell everybody to do, it's really, really important to have a dream board and have a lead on there. I didn't have a lead on my dream board. I think it's really, really important to have all your goals on a dream board where you see it every day, and just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, just look at it every day. And I did the year that I turned elite, I actually had it on my dream board. I know that sounds crazy that I didn't have it on there, but I didn't. And then one thing that I did differently this last year is I'm having everybody be a leader. Everybody that wants to be a leader, even if they've only been in for 4 months, I'm having everybody step up as a leader to do different things on our team. So it's not all on me. And so I can focus on recruiting and doing the things that I really, really enjoy. And so the work is kind of spread amongst all of our team. And it's a team effort. It's a total team effort. And I've been doing this for 3.5 years. And the big tip that I can give you guys is making Success Club every month. And if you only do 4 points and you really, truly gave it your all, and you truly know in your heart you gave it your all, then you can't be disappointed. You just got to keep trying every single month. And that's really what I've missed it twice in 3.5 years by 1 point, but I just kept moving forward. My second coach that I signed up in this business quit. She was one of my best friends, and so I was so bummed out. And if I would have been like, oh man, I'm just not good at this because my second coach quit, then I would have been really missing out on a lot. If I would have gave up and been so ticked off that I didn't go elite because I was so close and just been feeling sorry for myself, I would have been missing out on a lot because I'm now making 6 figures, and after 3.5 years, we're completely debt free. I won the Financial Freedom Award a couple of years ago. And so you can't let the little stuff get you down. You just got to stay positive and keep moving forward and remember your dreams. And if it's supposed to happen, it will happen. But just doing the little things, because I haven't did like anything spectacular, but maybe, just try to make Success Club every month. Try to let your leaders be leaders, and just, focus on 2 social media things. Like I run fit clubs and I do Facebook. So just focusing, maybe it's Instagram and Facebook, or just focus on 2 things and get really, really good at it. And like I said, let your leaders be leaders. Don't feel like you have to answer every single little question. I always tell everybody to Google it because that's what I have to do because I don't know everything. And then really have set schedule hours for what you're going to do, when you're going to work, and figure out what your niche market is. So I guess the main focus would be to stay positive and know that you're going to have disappointments in this business. Oh gosh, Mindy, in November I've never had so many coaches quit. I had like 7 coaches quit in November. I was like, oh my gosh, like 7 people. Like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, why are they quitting? And I don't know if it's because of Christmas time or a lot of them were discount coaches that quit. But I just said, you know what, it's going to happen. And I just moved forward. And I ended up with 33 points in December, the best month I've ever had. And I had the flu the first 2 weeks, and I went on vacation the last 2 weeks, and I still ended up with 33 points. I didn't let myself get down. I just kept moving forward. And so you guys need to, very, very important, you guys will experience disappointments, lots of them in this business. You have to read a lot of personal development, at least 10 minutes a day, Monday through Friday, to help you overcome that. If you can overcome disappointment and keep moving forward, then you're going to be a total rock star in this business. You have to get your mind right. You have to get set to know and expect that there's going to be disappointment. I'm telling you guys right now, 100% you're going to have disappointment. But those who overcome it you guys will all be rock stars as long as you can stay focused and positive. So I don't know what else to say, but that is that's probably the most important thing I can give you guys.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I think I want to recap what you said is that, you still achieved awesome things that, Elite has all the perks, it has the title and it has these things. But the thing is, you still help people. You still remember why you were positive, and you still, you are still financially free. And if anybody, wants to follow Christy and, hear her story, she has an incredible story of how coaching has transformed her life outside of just becoming financially free. The biggest thing that we tell coaches all the time is find your why. Because the thing is, if you don't know your why and you get so caught up in ranks or, these big goals and stuff, and you forget why you started, you easily can quit. And the biggest thing in this business is we're helping people, and you still help people become leaders. She still led her team. She still overcome, adverse conditions, and she still kept going, and she didn't leave her people along the way. And I'm so glad to have coaches that are willing to share this, because it's hard, because it brings up heartbreak on your part. And a lot of people think that failure is final, and failure really has to do with the type of person they are. You guys are wonderful people, no different than me or you or anybody on this call. And I think that so many people in life are afraid to share any of their failures, and other people think that the people like us who have been successful, you have hit elite, you have paid off debt, we have all these things, that we're immune to it. We have it happen, but the personal development and then having the support and talking to other people really help you overcome this, so that we're not negative. The people out there who have no positive reinforcement, have no personal development, and don't talk about it, they're the ones that you see on Facebook who are just constantly negative and whining and complaining, they think that it's all against them. They don't realize that the rest of us have bad things that happen. We deal with our emotions. We share a little tidbit about how to overcome it, and we keep going on what we're doing, and we don't continue to let one failure, come into this crashing, rolling avalanche of failure, because it can happen. If you feel like you failed and you let it bother you and you turn it into negativity, then you end up failing by failing people that have joined you on your journey. But you picked it up and kept going, and I thank you again for sharing all of that. And I hope that anybody who's listening to this live or recording understands what Christy said. She's not lying. I have more coaches quit than I can count. I have a very small percentage of my team who are actually consistently working. I still keep going, and everybody still deserves that. And you're not going to be immune from it, and there's going to be ups and downs. The end of this year, some of you could be going for elite and people quit. It might be out of your control, but just keep rolling and, rocking on. So thank you, Chris.
Yeah, you're right. I want to say one more thing you reminded me of. You do have to remember your why. You have to look at it every day when you do have bad things happen. But what I really learned from not going elite last year is that I'm in control of my business, and you can't blame anyone else. We're in control of our business. If you really, really want a goal, you have to really go for it. And sometimes you miss it, and sometimes you end up getting it. But my business is so much further ahead, and I've helped that many more people, and I love absolutely, and we have the most amazing company ever to work for. This company is absolutely phenomenal. Carl Deichler is amazing. And I just think back of that, I can't believe that I have the opportunity to work for such a fantastic company. And that's what really helps, you get through some of the quirky times that you have. It's just realizing what a phenomenal company. And Carl Deichler ended up calling me a couple weeks ago, and that totally put me on cloud 9 for the next year.
Wow. And that's the one thing too with Beachbody is that we're all just important. I hear so many people say, "Oh, elite coaches have it easier and they have all these perks." Well, that's
I didn't go elite, but you still call me.
Yeah, we are important and we're heard. And and some of these are perks. I heard a lot of complaining. I was in New Orleans, but I still heard a lot of complaining going on from people whenever it was the registration was open for the Beachbody cruise in 2016. We were like, "Oh, well, all the elite coaches get it." Well, that is kind of part of the elite status is that we work really, really, really hard and we get these perks, but it doesn't mean that you're any more or less important. It's just that's a perk, because if they said, "Oh, you get the title of being elite," but nothing happens, nothing special happens, that they don't care. But the thing is, people are just important, but there are certain things that we're going for. But don't ever think that you can't achieve the same thing as a working coach. And, my calls in the last couple weeks have shown you that there are coaches who started at the beginning of 2014 as an Emerald coach and ended as an elite coach. It can be done. So
it can be. I know a lot of people that did that, and it's actually easier for a coach that doesn't have tons and tons of high volume to go elite. And we're all important. We're all trying to end the trend of obesity. And every single person we invite to a challenge group, we're helping. And so we're all just a great big family that are really loving on people and changing people's lives. So that's what we need to remember.
That is exactly correct.
And I lost almost 40 pounds in 90 days. So
wow.
When I first started. So I believe in Beachbody. It totally is awesome and rocks.
Well, and having that passion and that loyalty to Beachbody will help you get through the highs and lows. And the one thing that I always tell the coaches is that if you hit Success Club 4 and somebody else in the team hits Success Club 12, that doesn't mean they're any better or worse. Stop comparing yourself.
Never compare yourself to anyone. Yes.
You don't know what everybody's going to do. Look at Christy. Obviously she hit 33 Success Club points in a crazy, time of her, business at the end of December. She was sick and she was out of town, but she still hit her, goals. But then again, there could be somebody else out there who was like completely bedridden for the whole month with the flu. So you never know what's going on, and you never know how many seeds somebody planted before. The biggest thing is don't compare yourself. And if you see somebody that's hitting Success Club 12, 15, 30, whatever, and you're barely getting Success Club 4, the best thing is instead of becoming discouraged and stopping what you've been doing, reach out to that coach and say, "What have you been doing? Can you help me? Maybe you can mentor me. Maybe you can give me some tips. Maybe you can hold me accountable." So it's all about the way you look at things and the way you take a setback and turn it into a comeback.
Yep, that's right. And just planting seeds, because there are months before that you're like, "Oh, try to hit Success Club 5 is so hard this month." But then the more seeds you plant along the way, and it does get easier. Like it's crazy, but I think it's easier to make Success Club now that I've been doing this almost 4 years, and it was when my first 2 years in the business, or even the first year, it's a lot harder for me to make Success Club than it was. So it does get much easier. I just want to tell you that it gets easier.
I just realized Anna got kicked off. Her Wi-Fi kicked her off, and then we have people. So I guess when you get off, I'm going to tell her to get on.
Okay. Well, I'll let you guys go. I wish you guys the best, and if you guys ever need anything, I'm there for you. And I love Mindy. She is just such a wonderful, wonderful leader. So you guys are just glad to have you. I'll talk to you. Please send me a friend request.
Yes.
I'll talk to you guys later.
So now you're getting off. Hopefully Anna can get back on.
Bye.
All right. Okay, guys, sorry, hold on. There's a snafu. We didn't prepare in time. So anyways, I hope that you guys got a lot out of what was being shared with, from Christy. Is that, like I said, I remember when I became a coach and I watched all these diamond coaches and elite coaches, I really thought, oh, it's so easy for them. I could never be successful. Now you're seeing the backside of what goes on, and that, I hope you realize that you can recover from these things yourself when this happens, and now that you know to expect it. All right, Anna's on. I'm going to spotlight her. And
can you hear me? Okay, hold on. I had to put this on my phone. Can you? Oh, shoot. Can you hear me okay? I don't know if you can. Can you hear me okay, Mindy? Yeah, okay, awesome. I'm on my phone, guys, so I can't see anybody. I'm so sorry. The timing of that was just impeccable. My entire internet went out, and it kicked back on, so I'm hoping that it stays. It did this earlier today. I can't believe this. Anyways, hi, I'm Anna Gray, and I was able to listen to just about all of Christy's story, and I sat here taking notes, and I was all set to share my story, and now I'm frazzled, but good thing I took notes. I have been a coach for 5.5 years. I started way back when we had zero tools, nothing, 2009. I was working full-time as a registered nurse. I had horribly long hours. I joined as a discount coach. Everything that you could possibly imagine. Me not doing this business for the business was how I started. When I started to understand what this business was all about, I decided to, like Christy said, set goals. So I have, and you can't see them in my office now, but I have yellow Post-it notes all over my walls. And I didn't have this office before. It was my little gym, my spare room. I had Post-it notes. They all had goals on there. I am a big, big, big believer of goals. Now, I did not hit a huge goal 2014. I hit elite in 2013, the very end of the year. I still pinched myself because I don't know how I did it, but I did it. And I'll tell you how I did it, and I'll tell you what changed last year. But I missed it this year by a hair, like literally a hair. I was one emerald away. One of my diamond coaches had dropped rank, and it was one of her accounts, and it was one coach away. I also capped out in one of my categories. So if that coach had come into place, and on January 1st, I would have been premier because I had capped out in the points. Without going into detail, I missed the mark. I hit it. Low battery, awesome. I hit it once before, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get on the computer so my phone doesn't die. Okay, I'm not going to be able to. But what I wanted to say regarding what Christy said was that we had very similar stories. We had coaches that quit. I had my top producer, diamond coach, quit the business while I was in Disney World on the Success Club trip. I mean, that was devastating to me. That was before I hit elite. So I've had many, 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 like Christy said, many disappointments. I remember I hit diamond pretty quickly way back when, 2010. And then I also remember going to Summit one year, not changing rank. And that was devastating. I saw everybody down on the floor walking the little parade, and I felt like a loser because I did not change rank that year. Guess what? That never stopped me. I think I'm one of those people that the saying, you reach for the stars and you hit the moon, that's like me. Like all these goals, like elite and $5 bazillion a year and like everything under the sun I want. And I fell short. But guess what? Falling short is not that bad. I realized when I got my 1099 this year. This last year, the year that I enjoyed the perks of being elite, was my first year being home as a full-time Beachbody coach. I matched my salary at the end of 2013. That was the same year I won elite. Guess what? That goal of me getting home pushed me so hard in this business that's how I hit elite. Last year, I was home. And I was the full-time Beachbody coach that I had always wanted to be. And I struggled all year with setting a new goal. That why had been my goal for so long that it really pushed me. And it was like, that photo finish, running the race, and I finally hit it. But last year, I struggled with setting that goal, setting that why. Well, my why has been the same thing for so long. And so I kind of floated last year. I enjoyed being elite. I still showed up every day. I still was 100% consistent. I always hit Success Club. In fact, I hit Success Club 10 every month except for the last quarter. There were 2 months I hit, I think it was 8 and 7. So I was still doing the work. I was still being active. But I had a hard time pushing myself the same way I pushed myself the previous year. It didn't stop me, though. Nothing will stop me. I don't care if I missed the mark. Of course I sulked, and Mindy knows this because I did, and I had to walk away, and I had to not watch everybody celebrate. I mean, it reminded me, and not to give you more of my story, but it reminded me of when I went through infertility for years. And then all of my friends started to have baby showers and get pregnant. And guess what? I had to avoid them. So I did it. I did it. I avoided those things, but I came back stronger. And by me floating, this is where I say you reach for the stars and you hit the moon. By me floating, like I said, I still showed up consistently. But I had a new focus also last year. And that was, like Christy said, to bring up leaders and to have other people do things. And so when you look at the end of the year, I have to look back at that and say that's not a failure. It doesn't show up in the elite category, but it's not a failure. So my whole entire year was focused on building the tribe of my team, and my team is a family, and they all work together now this year. So this year is completely different than last year. Your business will go through seasons. My business went through a season. That season sucked because I didn't hit elite. But guess what? When I look back at it, I have an incredible team that works together as a family that will carry each other this year. And I have new goals now, and I'm more focused. So for my advice to you is to keep pushing towards that why, like Christy said. Keep pushing towards that why. Even if you don't hit the mark, guess what? You've been in Success Club. You're still building your business. You're still helping people. Those are not failures. When I got my 1099 this year, I was home full-time, 100%, making more than I made in my 20-year nursing career. And that was a nurse manager. So, hello, is that a failure? No. But man, it hurt when I didn't hit that goal because I thought, oh, I should have no problem. I did it before. It's a really hard goal to hit. So for Mindy hitting it twice, you guys are so flippin' lucky to have her on your team because that is like nearly impossible. It's not cake. So you cannot compare yourself to her. You have to run your own race and have that as a goal, but never compare. And I think that at the end of last year, I started to panic. And I had my goals, my elite, and all this tracking stuff. And I really started to panic, and it really showed in my business. I was pushing people the way that I never pushed people before. And it showed. People were quitting, like Christy. People were quitting, and it was not fun. And I was not enjoying it. And it showed in my fourth quarter. So set the goal, be consistent, do your personal development, and do not compare yourself to other people. Run your own race. Do not get distracted and sucked in to what other people are doing. Use that in your own business, but don't let it stop you from doing your thing. So that's my story in a nutshell. Is that helpful? Oh, I can't hear you. You're on mute. There you go.
Okay. Okay. So the biggest thing that I want to share is that, what Anna said and Christy said is that failure is not final. If you set out to lose 100 pounds, that when you have maybe only lost 60 or 70 pounds in a year's time and you wanted to get done in a year because you saw all these other people doing 10 rounds of 21-day fix and they lost it, is that you don't quit what you're doing. You don't stop what you're doing. You maybe reach out, like I said, to these people who are doing it, but don't get so caught up and realize that everybody's metabolism, their business, their time or energy, their distractions, all these different variables in our business, in our weight loss journey are totally different than the next person's, and we can't compare it. The whole support system needs to be used as a support system like this to be able to talk about it and share it with others and pick other people's brains that have experienced failures instead of seeing it as a competition. We are a team, and that's why we were called Team Beachbody. So make sure that you're not competing on who's the better leader, who's making more money, who has more stars, who is able to leave their job fastest, who has more success points. But we see this as a team unity effort, and like I said, Anna, thank you so much for sharing your story. It meant a lot. I just want people to brace themselves, no matter how successful you are now, that you realize that you are not immune to distractions, to things that come up, to missing marks, but it's the way you recover. And the thing is, if you're wanting to lead a team, if you're wanting to lead a challenge group, you have to understand that failure is going to happen and you're going to suck at some things. And if it really bothers you that you suck at something and you know that it's really indicative to your success as a coach, then that's when you spend a lot of time on it. And I had a call today with a coach who said, hey, I heard something that twice now that really, bothered me. And I realized, oh God, does this mean I can or can't do this? And she realized that, I can do this, but there's something I need to work on. And if I want to be an expert at it, I need to focus on it. So, here's the thing is that you all know where your weaknesses are. Don't get sucked in to your weaknesses where it becomes how you label yourself, how you identify yourself, how you describe yourself, how you view yourself. Look at it as how you can do better in this area. And there are people out there whose strengths are your weaknesses. Those are the people you don't avoid. Those are the people you work with side by side, and you balance each other out. You learn from one another, and you see yourself as a team. I wanted to make sure that everybody is using, or is it? I don't have it here. I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. It's the 2015 Elite Goal Guide. Make sure you're using one of these. If you are in the Coach Online Office, you pop up the frequent asked questions section at the very bottom of the Coach Online Office, and you type in Elite Tracker. It's going to take you to that. There is a video in the Team Beachbody YouTube channel. So the thing is, don't say you don't know that you don't understand how Elite points work, because it's all under the frequent asked questions section. It's all under the recognition tab in the Coach Online Office. All this stuff is here. Kind of like what Christy was saying. She had to Google it. It is my job as your upline. It is your upline's job to say, hey, do you need my help with this? But the thing is, it's your job to understand it, your job to implement it, because if you're going for Premier or Elite, you have to understand it. It's not my job to explain it to you, because you have to understand it, because this is going to be something that's implemented with your team. I will tell you it has a lot to do with training your team to hit Success Club, and you hitting Success Club, continuously and consistently, and also the volume that your team contributes by, their own orders or their customers' orders. So this is the thing is, if you want to hit this, we are early enough in the year that you really can start to focus on this. A month has gone by, but not a big deal. Get focused on it. Use this tracker. It wasn't there until this year. So all these coaches that hit elite in 2013, 2014, like myself, we didn't have this. We still had to work for it. So now that you have this, you have no reason to say you don't understand it or you don't know how to set the goals. So make sure that you're utilizing the tools that are there, because these tools were created by coaches like myself who've been in this business for 3, 4, 5, 6 years and have went through trial and error and went through periods of ineffective ways of leading, and have shared with corporate and people like Leanne Ruff and the different teams within corporate that roll these things out for new coaches or coaches who are trying to hit the same goals that we did. So with that being said, if you're on my team and you're in the push, it's going well, make sure that you stay locked in and make sure that you are passing this on to other people on your team who may or may not be in the push or not been keeping up to date. But the push is going to be really huge, monumental for Diesel Nation and Team Relentless to people hitting goals. So next week we'll go back to the YouTube channels. We're going to have Chris Reed and Dennis Fowler, who are 2 Texas coaches, retired cops, my really good friends. They're also elite coaches. I think 3 times elite for both of them. They both work their businesses with their wives, and they are amazing, amazing, amazing. So it's at 8:30 next week on Wednesday. So tune in, especially if you have your spouses who have been, giving you a hard time or don't understand this business. Get them on a call with you. A guy's going to be more apt, I think, to listen to 2 dudes who have their man cards. They are cops, SWAT team people. And so hopefully your husband, if you're having issues, will come in and listen to these guys who started this business. They brought their wives along, and your spouse will see. And even if you're a man and you have your wife or spouse that's not in tune, get them on too, where you get to see this firsthand what they talk about. And because having that support from your family is really big on you hitting your goals. So that's all I have to say. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.